So what do I want to tell you? I'm just thrilled to pieces you all came to celebrate each other and to see each other again, or make new friends if you weren't there, because if you came, well, you probably would have been there if you had been here early enough in Davis. And particularly in these times, which are quite dark, as we know, it was really, I thought, again, it was time to remember why we built the place. And it took a while to figure it out. But we knew, we hammered down that the purpose of the restaurant was really about nourishment, consciousness, and creativity. And so many people have gone on with that in their personal lives, and even after they left the Mango. It's a wonderful thing. And the way we even thought about doing this, I will give a shout out to Dave Kupfer. He's the one, I think it was even at the end of the last year, who kind of nudged us and said, well, you know it's going to be the 40s, maybe you should do a reunion. And so that's kind of how it started. And then Ken Kemmerling really nailed it when he talked about how, well, this year, the 40th, October 19th is a Saturday, and that's exactly how it was 40 years ago when we opened our doors. So here we are, and Dave Cooper's going to say a few things next.
Well, let's have a round of applause for both Maura and Rob McDonald, who made this evening possible. Thank you both very much. As well as Ken Kemmerling, who is essentially the producer of this evening's musical fare. Let's hear it for Ken. And he's also the archivist for the Blue Mango. Can I see a show of hands? How many people here actually worked at the Blue Mango? That's incredible. How about a show of hands? How many people ate at the Blue Mango? Wow. And a show of hands, how many people got their food in a timely manner? Only because your wife works in the kitchen. Well, I think we all know that the Mango served as a pioneering model here in the Sacramento Valley and in California. It was one of only a half a dozen cooperative restaurants in the entire nation, and in terms of being a cooperative vegetarian restaurant in California, it was in a class unto itself. Also, it was incredibly green. It was the first restaurant in Davis, if not Northern California, to compost its waste and to make direct connections with farmers. That wasn't done prior to the Mango's existence. So that's one of the many characteristics of the Mango that we're celebrating here tonight. As well, it was a cooperative, so there were no bosses. How many people remember lengthy meetings? I'm seeing a lot of hands out there. It was also a place where literally dozens and dozens of special causes could produce fundraisers, whether it was Amnesty International or Lawrence Livermore's Action Group or the Central American Action Committee. There were so many benefits. It was truly the community clubhouse. It was a place, I mean, a mere testament to the fact that almost 200 of you are here this evening. So you're all due a round of applause. Thank you for coming out this evening. As well, I think the Mango fits into a larger context of contemporary alternative culture. Beyond being a vegetarian restaurant, it was a place where we all could get together and celebrate the emerging culture as it were in the late 70s and 80s. Something that we're celebrating here this evening. And there were many linkages with other alternative institutions that continued to survive today. Be they the Domes or the Davis Food Co-op or the Whole Earth Festival, the Davis Free Clinic. There were many institutions at that time that were created and that were persevered. As well, I want to point out one of our elders is here this evening, Isao Fujimoto, just entered in the back door. And Isao recently celebrated his 86th birthday, has a true legacy to this community. His students went on to create the both of Blue Mango, the food block, the David Farmers Market.
Yeah,
Both directly
right.
and indirectly responsible for
Recognize
the
you.
appropriation of an alternative culture here in Virginia.
Yes, of course. I still have
And
a few
the
dresses
thing,
from there.
we celebrate 47
And so do you.
Towards the end of her life. Now she had a little boy, and his name was Waker, and I tracked him down to see, to tell him about this and see what he remembered about the mango, and he was very, very touched. He said some wonderful things about Davis and the Blue Mango specifically. He said, you know, oh yes, he remembers the steamed milk, and he remembers the curtains with the bright flowers. He remembers the coconut lights. And Nanette had told him, he didn't witness it, but he remembers that Bob Marley and his band ate there, and he remembers that story very well. And then he told me, I was able to eat there before it closed in the early 90s, and it was almost like traveling back in time, or maybe just going home. The Blue Mango is at the heart of all my memories of Davis. I think that might have been true of Nanette as well. I wish you well, and I'm so sorry. Nanette could not be there in person, but her spirit never left.
Apparently, it does like the failed before.
So that's from those guys.